What's going on, my friends? I hope that you are well. And if you're in Florida right now, I do hope that you're staying safe. I really do. I'm in Charleston, South Carolina, so we're kind of wondering what effects we're going to feel of that because it's going to veer north. Probably Category 1, maybe a tropical storm. I hope maybe none of that. But I really feel for you guys down there in Florida, and I do hope that you are staying safe. Taking the right precautions. Excuse me, that hit a key on my keyboard. I am back home finally. 3 days of driving. I got home. I left Saturday early, about 6:30 out of Los Angeles. Didn't get any traffic, like heavy or anything, and got out of Los Angeles. I think it was about the quickest amount of time that I was able to get out of Los Angeles and to the Arizona state border than probably any time that I've driven at. Now, granted, other times I drove in an RV and it takes a little bit longer in an RV or a van with a lot of weight to it, just speed wise. Those vehicles, you can't get up to 80, 90 miles an hour or whatever your speed limit is, because some of the speed limits on those interstates and out west are 75 and 80 miles an hour. So it's crazy. But the conference was great. It was fantastic. I put up a video of some snippets and stuff that I could show. It's not a whole lot I could really show other than that, but it's a great event every year, I'm telling you. In fact, I was talking about some of the people I sat at the table with when I was sitting. There was another guy at the table with us I didn't even mention. Didn't even mention who writes all the music for The Price is Right. That's not the only thing he does, but he does extremely well with that, let alone the other things he does. It's just, that's the caliber of talent that goes to this conference, and so much stuff you can learn. I'm just sitting there just listening, mostly just trying to take it all in, going, golly, these guys are amazing, just an amazing talent, really is. But anyway, I wanted to share something that I did yesterday, and I'm trying to get into being creative with sampling, and there are guys that are so good at it. I mean, John Mayer does a great job of it. I mean, if you haven't, go to Spitfire's Labs. I think it's piano book. I'm sorry, my mind went blank. He has one instrument for sale, the feathered flute. It's really a cool. I had a good conversation with him about that and how I used it. He's got some other stuff from his site that is really good. And it takes a lot of time, doing all these sample-based instruments. But I'm just kind of wanting to at least get good at taking something and taking a recording of it and sampling it and putting it like an Omnisphere, like I did this particular one I did. And it's just crazy. I was driving home thinking, I gotta sample that thing. I was going to do it 2 years ago, 3 years ago. I never did it back in 2019. But back in 2019, I was in my RV, and I was traveling back across country here, and I was going through Monroe, Louisiana. There, West Monroe, Louisiana. It's all kind of the same. West Monroe, kind of one area. And if you know anything about that area, you know the guys from Duck Dynasty are from there. That's where the whole Duck Dynasty thing was filmed and all that jazz. So I stopped in 2019, took a tour of the place where it was all filmed. At that time, and even now, they don't do business in that building. It's kind of a museum, so to speak. Everything is in a lot bigger building down the road. I didn't go down there. I was just talking to a guy that was talking about the tour. And in the midst of that, he hands like a big bag of swag. I'm not a hunter. Just don't get into that stuff. I don't duck hunt. But there was a duck call in it. And it was... I'm not going to say it's one of their top-of-the-line duck calls. I don't even know the difference of what that is. I just know that sounds like a duck call, that crazy duck, So driving home the other day, I actually spent the night in Monroe, Louisiana, just for the night. And I said, I got to sample that duck call. I was going to do it back in 2019. I didn't do it. So I found it and grabbed it, and I sampled some bits of it in different forms, just about 8 or 9 pieces, and I took a sample of that and put it in Omnisphere, and it's kind of those happy accidents. I'm trying to get better, because I was sitting there at the conference. I was sitting there with Dave Croft, and I was like, I really have got to get better at Omnisphere and even sampling and more creative, because I haven't even scratched the surface of what Omnisphere can do. And I've been using Omnisphere since back in 2011 maybe, or 2010, 2011 when I first got it. It's like, it's so much under the hood, it's unbelievable. So I ended up putting it in a patch in Omnisphere, and let's see here, maybe you can hear it. I took another patch, went into the layers, and just kind of blended it and mixed everything, and brought in the actual duck call sample that I did. Put it in some granular on it and some reverb. I'll actually play the actual sample here in a minute, but I don't know if you can hear that in the distance. You hear the synth, and then you hear the actual duck call. A creepy duck call for tension music. So I'm using it. I've already recorded a patch. So I don't know if you can hear that. A little bit. Yeah. Not a duck hunter. Again, don't know how to do this, but kind of reminds me of a kazoo. When I was in school, they gave you those kazoos and those little reeds, or whatever you call those things in music class. But those reeds, those, what do you call those things? Like flutes, but there, you get the idea. I had a brain lapse there for a second. But the actual sample, where did I put that? Put it back over here. Duck call samples. Duck call samples. Where did you go? I don't even think I put it in that file. Hang on one second, and I'm being crazy here, but I know that sample's in here. Loops and samples, duck call. We're gonna find it, because it's here. I know it is. There it is right here. So the actual sample that I used, I believe, was you hear that? Hear that? That's the original sample. I just put some granular synth on it and reverb. And again, I'm so inexperienced on a lot of that stuff under the hood with Omnisphere that, if you just hit knobs and tweak it. I mean, the cool thing about Omnisphere is you could do layers of other synths. You could blend things together in layers, or do different channels, tracks, and do all kinds of creative stuff with it. But I just did the just simple chords, because this isn't real intricate at all. There's nothing intricate to a duck call. It really isn't. It's just something different and creative to see what you can do with it. It was like when I posted the video for the Coke can sample. Go back and look at that. The Coke, opening a can of Coke. I've used that sample for tension tracks, corporate tracks, rock. There's different effects and transition. I think was very cool. So, but check that out. And I think that there's a lot to be said for being creative and being able to sample anything. So if you hear something you don't think, oh, that's not going to sound great as a sample, it's not what you record as much as what you do to it. It'll make it absolutely incredible. What you do with it is going to take it to the next level. And it's so cool. It really is. So I thought I would share that. I hope you guys are well. Anything else comes on, if it does, I'll jump on and cut you in. I can't even talk. I need a little bit more of this here coffee. But anyway, again, if you guys are down in Florida, please be safe. I hope that you're in a safe place. And we'll see you guys on the next one. I thank you so much for watching. Be good. Have a great one. Bye.